Good day out there to all my listeners, and I'd like to welcome you to Is Your Way in Your Way podcast. And for my new listeners out there, that is the name of my book, Is Your Way in Your Way. And it is a self-discovery guide for women on how to restore yourself, learn from the experiences that you've already had, and to be your true self again. And we talk about topics related to what I say personal improvement, business improvement, personal development. In addition to, it's going to enable you to do some self-reflection. These are for individuals that are stuck. And what I mean by that, it's kind of like I'm being stuck. I wanted to write a book. I wanted to write a book for so many years, and I just could not do it. Like many of you, you want to start your own business. You want to be an author. You want to be a coach. You want to get out of a relationship that's not good for you, that you know is toxic, but you're just stuck. And so therefore, I have an individual on today that I am super, super excited about. And her name is Jenny Harkleroad. And I'd like to welcome her to the stage. Hello, Jenny. How are you?
Hi, Cassandra. It's so good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. Our topic, everyone, is titled 17 Seconds to Wellness and Success. And we're going to use the science of your mind. And one of the things, listeners, after I read Jenny's bio, I want you to, there's going to be some takeaways. And one of them is that you are going to gain some insight on harnessing the subconscious mind to break those personal barriers and achieve transformative growth, gaining practical tools for a purpose-driven life. So in other words, we're going to talk about shifting your belief. And I'm going to read a bit about Jenny. And actually, she is a #1 bestseller and author. And I just found out she wrote 3 books. She is a dynamic speaker, a renowned mind change expert, a proud mother of 4, and successful entrepreneur. She has built a multi-million-dollar business in San Diego over 13 years. Her life took a dramatic turn after a mountain cliff fall left her with a broken back. Yeah, a broken back. Fueled by this life-changing experience, Jenny harnessed the power of her mind to overcome chronic pain, addictions, and unhappiness, discovering how to create a life of true joy and fulfillment. Now she's on a mission. And her mission is to transform lives by helping others unlock what's missing and rewrite their own story. I don't want you guys to miss this inspiring conversation. I certainly could have used Jenny years ago, and I'm certain I can use her again because I continue to be a work in progress. So Jenny, let me ask you this. I want to know about your backstory before you were mad, you were sad, and in pain. What was going on prior to all of that with you?
Yeah, that's a great story. And it's going to start all the way back in the beginning when I was very young, and my mother would tell me what to do. And I would tell her that she was not the boss of me, that I should be able to do whatever I wanted to do. Okay. And as you could imagine, that didn't go very well. Yeah. And so when I was 2 years old, I asked if I could move out. Because I don't know what she thought, but she thought she was in charge of me. And I didn't.
Wow.
She wouldn't let me move out. Again, she was in charge. And so you can imagine this headbutting just went on my whole growing up, because I honestly did not understand why she thought she got to make my choices. I mean, it just blew my mind. Yeah. And I think it blew her mind equally that I thought I didn't have to listen.
Right? Okay. Oh, wow. This is already exciting.
Way back then.
Okay.
And what happened was how my body dealt with the frustration that was going on was by causing pain. And so I started in elementary school. I was always in the nurse's office. When I was 12 years old, I got put on prescription pain pills. When I was in my 20s, they told me I was in liver failure from all the pain pills I'd been taking.
Oh my.
That's how my body dealt with stress, was suppress it and pain. And I didn't understand that it had anything to do with my emotions. I thought it was like, how unlucky am I that I've got this emotional pain and this physical pain? I didn't know they were, hand in hand.
Wow.
And
Okay.
I met my husband super young. We got married. And again, kind of back to my mom. My mom was the boss of everything,
Yeah.
even my dad. And so when I got married, I thought I was the boss finally.
Yeah.
And then when I started telling my husband what to do, he wouldn't listen.
Okay. Wow.
And the
Okay.
frustration continued and the pain in my body continued. And so I had this life of chronic physical pain, feeling mad, bad, sad, frustrated, in pain, and not knowing how to fix it. So I was always trying to fix my body, but I didn't really know how to fix the other parts of my life. I would just always focus on trying to fix my body. And as soon as I'd fix one problem with my body, then another problem would pop up. And so that was kind of the background of my life. However, at the same time, I was financially, I'm great at sales, and I was always top of my game financially.
Yeah.
And so
Okay.
that's where I would put my focus. I'd go build a business and make money. But on the back end, I was in pain and hurting and just trying to put on a happy face because I didn't know what else to do.
Wow.
And so it was a rough growing up.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Wow, you're looking good on the outside, but the inside is just tearing you apart.
Exactly.
Oh my
Exactly.
gosh.
Yeah.
So, wow, it's interesting. You, at the age of 2, to me, it's just fascinating. It's like, look, I want to do things my way. And
Right.
obviously that was kind of ingrained in you and you kept saying it. And because your mom was the boss, you kind
Yeah.
of retaliated on that, you think?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. The interesting thing is I never wanted to do anything quote unquote wrong. I just want to make my own choices.
Okay.
I
Okay.
wanted to take a nap if I wanted to take a nap, not because you told me to take a nap type of thing. Right.
Wow.
So yeah, it was very hard for me. My mom always said I was born an adult and I just didn't understand what is going on with all these people that think they're in charge.
Wow. Well, this is interesting. So life continues, and you actually, from that point, you got on you broke your back. Now, obviously, you were maybe mountain climbing or something, and that's something that you wanted to do. And when you broke your back, curious to what was your perspective after you broke your back versus what your perspective is now
Yeah,
when you're
that's
back.
such a great question.
Yeah. What was,
It was back in 2013. I'll just tell you the story real quick. I was standing on this mountain ledge with my husband. We had been camping and hiking with friends, and he completely innocently said, like, if I was young and in shape, I'd jump off of here instead of climbing down. And I
oh,
looked down and I thought, that's not that far. And I jumped. And when I landed, I heard a crunch in my back and I couldn't move. And he tried to get me up and couldn't. Friends tried to get me up, couldn't. They ended up calling 911. 911 sent in a ground crew. They hiked in. They couldn't get me out. They ended up calling Life Flight. Life Flight comes out. I get zip lined up to a hovering helicopter, wake up in the hospital where they told me, you broke your back.
oh my
I was
gosh.
like, what?
Oh my gosh.
And so picture this at the time. So I've got a thriving real estate business, 4 kids, so super busy. I was running the women's organization of my church. I was super involved in community activities and events and fundraising. So my life was just go, 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 go. And now I'm like bedridden.
Wow.
So I had some thinking time, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And what I thought is, well, first I want to get better, but second is I'm just not happy. How do I feel better emotionally and physically? Because I've been struggling with both of these my whole life, although I mostly thought of the physical part. I've been struggling.
Yeah.
And I want to like my husband again. I
Yeah.
want to be happy. I want to lose weight. I want to, you know what? I want to do something that I'm passionate about. Real
Mm.
estate was nice. It was fine. It was good, but I didn't wake up excited about it.
Yeah.
Why? Because I would get 250 calls on average per day for real estate.
Right.
250.
Oh, wow.
That's a
Okay.
lot of phone calls when trying to mother 4 children and do all the other things I was doing.
Exactly.
I mean, it was a
Exactly.
lot. And again, I just wasn't like super passionate about it. And
Mm-hmm.
so I just
Mm-hmm.
laid there thinking, like, how do I fix all this? There's,
Mm.
like, I've got the worst temper. I don't want to have a bad temper. Like, how do I fix myself? How do I change myself? I've been saying positive affirmations in the mirror for 20 years, and
Yeah.
clearly that's not working for me. Like, how
Right.
do I change
Exactly.
who I am and how I am? How do I be who I want to be? Not just successful and everybody's like, ooh, she's got it all together because look at all the things she has. And, she married her high school sweetheart and they have this beautiful family. It looked good from the outside, but it wasn't
Exactly.
happy on the inside. So
That
it's like,
that
how do
that's
I fix it?
amazing, Jenny, because I think many of us have, I think as we grow, we were told to, you go to school, go to college. After college, you get a job, get a husband, get a family, so we all go through that because, as you indicated, that's what you were told, that that's what it was, that maybe for you to be successful, or either that's how the world is.
Yeah.
And by you, I would say you were defiant back in the day, that
Yes.
kind of came until even the real estate, like, okay, I'm making money, I'm doing this, but it sounds like it just took a fall. And it's unfortunate, but thank God you're still here. And obviously
Right.
your back was healed, and you'll tell us a
Right.
little bit about that. But
Yeah.
but you says, okay, give me I think I need another chance. So what's going on while I'm here? It could be like God has put me on my knees, my back, well, I can't do nothing. And so now it's time for me to, like, okay, if I'm going to continue to live, I actually, my back's going to heal and all of this stuff, but
Yeah.
I'm not happy.
Right.
So how did you figure out what it was, or what your purpose was doing all of
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. Well, I wish I figured it out quickly,
Yeah.
but my back wouldn't get better. As I started to get mobile, the pain started to get worse and worse and worse.
Uh-huh.
And literally daily, I was seeing either a chiropractor, an acupuncture, massage, or physical therapy. Like every day, I was doing something for my back, and it
Mm-hmm.
just kept getting worse. So a
Mm-hmm.
year after I broke it, I started taking pain pills for my back. And
Wow.
then 2 years after I broke my back, I still couldn't even sit in a chair.
Oh my
So
God.
remember, my habit of putting on a happy face and pretending everything's fine, I was still a top producing real estate agent, not even able to function
Wow.
because I was making calls from bed and,
Okay.
paying people to drive me laying in the back of my car on ice packs to appointments. I
Oh
mean, it
my
was
goodness.
ridiculous. But
Wow.
here's the reason I didn't heal. The reason I didn't heal is because I would have gone back to the same thing and I wouldn't have learned the lesson. It
Okay.
was the searching for a solution is where I found my answer. So 2 years after I break my back, I say, you know what? There is something structurally wrong here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have surgery. So I
Mm-hmm.
literally convince surgeons to put rods and screws in a synthetic disc in my back, thinking
Yes.
that'll fix the problem.
Okay.
7 months later, after the surgery, can't sit, can't drive, can't function, back feels like it's on fire, same as before the surgery. Now I just can't really, twist because I'm full of metal.
Yes.
I'm thinking, now what? And they're like, you're just going to have to learn to live with the pain. We'll
Oh
just
wow.
keep giving you pain pills. And I'm
Okay.
thinking, no,
Mm-hmm.
you don't
Mm-hmm.
understand. I'm a go-getter.
Yes.
I
Right.
can't live in this body. There has
Okay.
to be a solution, And they're like,
Mhm.
there's nothing. You've tried it all. We've tried it all. Like, sorry. No, 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 no. There's got to be a way. So I
Wow.
ask everybody, what do you do for back pain? What do you do? What do you do? I end up getting referred to a medical doctor
Mhm.
who told me that I could heal myself with my mind.
Mm.
And I said,
Ooh.
what are you talking about?
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
what kind of doctor are you? Kill
Exactly.
myself with my mind?
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm desperate. So sure, let's try it.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Good.
Long story short, and we can get into some of it if you want later, but long story short, 6 sessions later, I'm completely healed and I'm doing handstands and back bends. I mean, healed. And
Now,
I
what
could
kind of
not
doctor was
believe
he?
a medical
A medical
doctor. A
doctor? Okay.
medical doctor.
Okay. All right.
I know. I know. A medical doctor who learned a lot of alternative types of medicine
Yeah.
when he would find that he would do everything he could with his patients. If they still had a problem, he
Yeah.
wanted to offer them other solutions.
Okay.
So he learned a lot of other things about the power of the mind and how the mind controls the body. And
Wow.
for me, basically what was going on was I had so much tension in my mind from the stories I told you of my life.
Yes.
The tension in my mind was causing tension in my body. So if you think about like lifting weights, like doing bicep curls,
Yeah.
if you do this, after a while, it starts to burn.
Yeah.
And if you keep doing it, it starts to burn more. And it won't stop burning until you stop. And as soon as you stop, give it a couple seconds, like, oh, whew. Okay. So this is what was going on with my back. It was like my subconscious mind chose this weak part of my body and was just tight. And so he kept telling me, we got to like release that tension. And I couldn't feel any tension, it was
Right.
subconscious
Exactly.
happening.
Yeah.
But what we had to do was work through some things in my life. But it was not just the working through things in my life, because I've been to a psychologist before. It wasn't just the talking about it, but it was the understanding that this emotional stuff is causing this physical stuff. And so in order to release the physical, you have to let go of the emotional. And so that's what we're able to do. And my body, after 6 sessions, just let go, stopped curling the biceps, stopped tensing the back. And all of a sudden the pain stopped. And here's the thing, our bodies are meant to heal, right? My body was healed. It'd been 3 years, but I thought it wasn't because it hurt, but it hurt because of the tension, not because something was wrong with it.
That sounds great. And the reason I say that, because I used to go to the doctor all the time. And every time I would go to a doctor, they would tell me I was stressed. And that was my problem. My headaches, my stomach aches, my back hurt. And I would even get more stressed because they would tell me I'm stressed. And I'm like, okay, well, how am I going to get unstressed?
Right.
But yet I never ran into somebody that said, you're mine. I'm like, I'm not sure how I would have responded to that. But you in a situation where you're a go-getter anyway. So look, I'll try anything. How bad else can it get? So what are some of the things that he shared with you in regards to your mind that you had to, okay, you have the subconscious and the conscious mind.
Yeah.
So what were your thoughts? And in other words, when you said you started feeling better, what was in your mind? Something had to change. What was he telling you to do for that change?
Yeah. So a lot of it was just the awareness of what the pain was coming from. And he used muscle testing. And muscle testing I was familiar with because I grew up with a dad who's a chiropractor. And a lot of chiropractors use muscle testing. So what my dad would do for muscle testing is he would run his fingers down someone's spine with their other arm. They would hold it out parallel to the floor and he'd press it down while he was going down their spine. And when he would get to a spot in their spine where there was a subluxation, a disc out of alignment, all of a sudden they couldn't hold up their arm. So he'd go, that's the spot. He would adjust it and then he would test it again. All of a sudden they could hold up their arm. And so it was like the body's biofeedback system. And so this doctor started doing the same thing with me, but not physically. He was doing it emotionally. He was asking my body, what is causing the pain? And with the muscle test, my body was saying emotions. And so then he said, okay, Jenny, let's talk about your emotions. Now, remember how I had learned to cope with my life was suppression which
Mhm.
caused tension. So
Mhm.
when he asked me, tell me about your childhood, I go, nah, I don't talk about my childhood.
Right.
And he says, well, let's talk about your marriage. And I go, nah, I don't talk about my marriage.
Yeah, right. Mhm.
And he's like, well, I thought you said you don't have emotional things. And I literally recited my positive affirmations to him. I said, I don't. I'm happy. I'm healthy. I'm terrific. I just can't sit, can't drive, can't function, burning back pain.
Right.
It's structural. And
Uh-huh.
he's like, did you just feel that muscle test? Because the muscle test showed that it was emotional. So if you want to feel better, we're going to have to talk about these things.
Okay.
I was like, oh boy, do you have Kleenex? A
I
lot of
know.
Kleenex, because
Right.
40 years of suppression is sitting in front of you,
Yes.
you
Yeah.
know, but
Yeah.
again, it wasn't just the sharing. It was the sharing, but knowing that is causing tension and pain in my body.
Mm.
And so if I can stop holding on to that tension, if I can let go of these things, and we did that through some brain work,
Mhm.
then all of a sudden my body can just relax. And a relaxed body doesn't hurt.
Hmm. Okay. Would
Yeah.
that happen to be something with the 17 seconds to
Yeah,
well?
let's talk about the
Yeah,
17
let's
seconds.
talk about that because I
Yeah.
definitely want to hear about that.
So here's the thing. We have, according to psychologists, 50,000 to 80,000 thoughts per day, about 80% negative, about 90% a repeat of yesterday.
Mhm.
And the stories we're telling ourselves, we believe. It's
Mhm.
our perception. It's our lens through which we see the world. We're believing our story. And as
Mhm.
soon as we believe our story, we feel that it's true. And our brain attracts all these other stories to prove to us why what we're thinking and feeling is true. It's this
Okay.
feedback loop. And this happens just over, like, it starts with 17 seconds. You have a thought, it's an
Right.
electrical signal in your brain for just 17 seconds. But then
Yes.
when it goes on for more than 17 seconds, it becomes a feeling. And that feeling locks in a new energy. And people talk about, how do you attract and how do you manifest what you want? Or a lot of people say, I'm manifesting what I don't want. It's
Mm.
because of what you're thinking. So the 17-second rule is to pay attention to what's going through your head. And it's real easy to spot it on other people. I walked by a
Okay.
girl at church on Sunday and she's sneezing and she goes, I have the worst immune system ever. And I'm like, oh,
Uh-huh.
you shouldn't say that.
Okay. So that's what you mean by thought. Because I was going to say, give us some examples. Like, what do people
Yeah.
think about? What
Yeah.
What are
It's
some
like,
things like?
I don't think I can accomplish this, or I'm
Mhm.
having a bad day, or,
Mhm.
anything. I'm not feeling well. Like anything that you don't want to be your reality. My
Right.
kids don't appreciate me. My husband, whatever, doesn't make time for me. Whatever the things are that
Right.
you're thinking, as soon as you think it and hold the thought, it becomes a feeling that you believe, and it literally changes your energy field. So you start attracting more and more and more of that because
Mhm.
you believe it. And what you think about is what you bring about, and what you focus on expands. And so
Right.
the 17-second rule is like, catch it, stop.
Right. Okay.
Don't say you're stuck. Say,
Okay.
how do I move forward?
Okay.
What's my
Mhm.
next step? So the 17 seconds is catching the thought. And, if you set an alarm for once an hour and just when it goes off, ask yourself, what am I thinking right now? You'll be
Yeah.
shocked about how negative you are. You'll be
Yeah.
like,
Right.
what is
Exactly.
going on? Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
don't believe what you're telling yourself, because it's just
Mhm.
your own narration. It's just a
Okay.
story. So,
Okay.
so the moral of the 17-second rule is to catch the thought and then
Okay.
ask yourself the golden question: how would I rather feel? Or what would I rather think? Or what would I rather achieve? Or how would I rather be?
Mhm.
Now, in my work, the next step is we do a brain exercise that literally repatterns the subconscious mind so
Mhm.
that it creates that new reality. Because the
Mhm.
subconscious, it's a million times more powerful than the conscious mind.
Why
This is
is that? Why is
why.
yeah.
Yeah, well, we have to ask God that question. I don't know exactly, but according to scientists, it's so we can function. Like if we had to think how to walk every time we walked, or if we had
Okay.
to think how to speak every time we spoke, or if we had to think to blink our eyes or beat our heart or grow our hair, like we couldn't do anything else,
Right.
right? It's
Okay.
just this super processor inside of us. But
Mm-hmm.
what I didn't used to understand is that it also controlled how we think and feel and act and react automatically. So
Mm.
when someone cuts you off in traffic, how you feel, it's a
Yes.
subconscious response. You don't say, that person just cut me off. How would I like to choose how to feel about that right now?
Right.
Or,
Okay.
my husband or my kid just said something. How do I want to feel? You just
Mm-hmm.
feel, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's automatic.
Okay.
And so what if you don't like the automatic? I used to have the worst temper. I didn't want to have the worst temper, but I
Right.
just did. And I would tell myself, okay, the next time my husband says whatever it is, I'm just going to take a deep breath. They say count to 10.
Yeah. Right.
But counting to
Yeah.
10 is just holding in how I'm really feeling. I'm still feeling that way. I still want to wring his neck,
Yes.
even if I
Exactly.
don't say it. But
Exactly.
if you change the subconscious mind, I reprogram my subconscious mind to be open and curious. So now when he says something that in the past would have made me lose my mind,
Mm-hmm.
now automatically I'm like, wonder why he said that.
Mm.
That's the response.
Okay.
I wonder why he said that.
Okay.
So you can change your automatic response. And I
Okay.
think that's the greatest discovery of the 21st century, because it feels so good to be able to grow yourself, improve yourself, be who and how you want to be. Like you talked about being stuck.
Yeah.
We don't like being stuck. Why are we stuck? Because we're habitual. We think the same thought that creates the
Mm.
same feeling, that creates the same action or lack of action. And here we are again, the same old us. They say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Why?
Right.
We're
Exactly.
just our same way. It's
Right.
subconscious, it's automatic.
Okay.
It's why people say, starting Monday, for real this time, I'm going to eat healthy and exercise for real. I know I mean
Right.
it this time, right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
Wednesday, someone brings donuts to work and they're like, shoot, how did I just eat that? I was
Yeah.
going to be so good. What happened? The
Yeah. Yeah.
subconscious mind overpowers you every time because you lose focus consciously.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And that's
So
why you're obsessed with the mind thing, right?
I'm obsessed with the subconscious mind because I said
Uh-huh.
affirmations for 20 years and nothing changed. I worked
Right.
with this doctor, 6 sessions, pain's gone. Then I worked with him on getting rid of my pain pill addiction. Then I worked with him on loving my husband again, then getting rid
Uh-huh.
of my bad temper and losing weight and getting rid of my allergies and motion sickness and finding my purpose and passion. I mean, it was like a magic wand. And I thought, what?
Wow.
How did I
That's a
not know about this power? It's right. I'll give you an example. My son, for Mother's Day, he said, Mom, I got you a gift. And I'm like, oh, that was super sweet. What'd you get me? He said,
uh-huh.
I'm going to teach you how to do something on your car. I was like, that's interesting. Okay. So he's like, so Mom, I know when you try to lock your car, you've never really been able to figure out how to do it without the remote. And so you open the trunk and you push the lock button. There's got to be a better way. He's
Yeah.
like, did you know that if you touch the door handle, there's a little line right there, it locks. You just touch it with your finger and your door locks. So I'm
Uh-huh.
like, you're telling me that for the last 4 years, I've been opening my trunk to lock my car or digging through my purse to find the key fob,
Okay.
and I could have just touched the handle?
Is
What?
that an electric car? Electric?
It's a hybrid.
Okay.
Yeah. But it was just like,
Wow.
that's how your mind is. You're trying the hard way. You're trying to
Mm.
overpower it. Instead,
Mm.
just program it to support you. Program
Mm.
your subconscious mind to support you. I didn't know about my subconscious mind. I didn't know how to program it. I didn't know any of these things. I would just try and try and try and fail and get frustrated and be stuck in my same old ways. Now I
Wow.
know the secret. And
Wow.
gosh, what a
That
better life it's been.
Wow, that's powerful, and I can see why they say that you're a world renowned mind change expert.
Wow.
Yeah, that is amazing. I'm gonna actually, I always hear about the subconscious and the conscious, and they always say in the Bible said, whatever a man thinketh is what he is.
Yeah.
It's a lot,
Yeah.
either how powerful the mind is.
Yeah.
So, and just listening to you, believe many of it has to do with a lot of sickness.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
yeah. And
Absolutely.
listening to you, I'm thinking about depression and anxiety
Yeah.
and I'm not saying that you don't need medication for that or
Yeah.
anything, but it's just like changing the narrative and working on that. And because we're a quick society, we want everything right now.
Yes.
That didn't come right then. I mean, here you are 20, 30, 40 years old and you've learned these things. So you have to
Yeah.
unlearn them. I want to talk about I'm thinking about, yeah, I know you've heard of Mel Robbins with the 5 second rule, and you have the 17-second
Yeah.
rule. And for my listeners, um, um, for those that are stuck, and that's what it's all about. And you talk about the mind. I want to use some simple, like real life situations.
Yeah.
For example, there are individuals that say, I really know that the job I have is not working for me. I'm just not happy. I'm just not comfortable with it. Take them through, and then we're going to talk about your new app you have that I'm really excited about. How could you help them? Like let's say that's that example. What
Yeah.
what process would you take them through for those who are really stuck? And my mantra is let's mitigate these barriers and these roadblocks that's preventing you from living your best life on your terms. So
Yeah.
this individual says, I'm in this relationship, toxic, I would say job situation, that
Okay.
atmosphere.
Yeah.
What would you do to help them to get out of that?
Yeah. That's perfect. So the question I always ask, I call it the golden question, is how would you rather feel?
Okay.
Right. So they're stuck in this toxic job environment.
Okay.
So they might say, I might rather feel like my coworkers are kind and
Uh-huh.
supportive.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would say, okay, let's do a brain exercise
Mm-hmm.
that will get your subconscious to believe that they are, because what you're believing is what you're attracting. And
Mm-hmm.
so we'll do a brain exercise that they believe that, and then they're going to be like, okay, so what? Now it's just going to be better. And the answer is yes. Go to
Mm-hmm.
work. You'll see. All of
Mm-hmm.
a sudden, that reticular activating center of your brain will
Yes.
look for the good instead of looking for the negative. It's like when
Okay.
you get a new car, all of a sudden you're like, everybody has my car, but they didn't yesterday before I bought this car.
Exactly.
What is
Yeah.
going on? Right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Your brain will look for that. So that's one option.
Okay.
And it literally works like a charm. Our private clients say they're 57% better after one session with us. Okay.
Wow.
So maybe have two. You can be more than
Right.
50. Okay.
Okay.
In our app, they say they're 41% better after using our app once.
Mm.
That powerful, the subconscious mind. So another option is, well, maybe you want to get a different job.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how do you feel about that? And they might say like, oh, I couldn't find a job that pays as well, or I don't know what I like to do, or right. They have all these like
Yeah.
reasons why they can't.
Yeah.
And so the question is, well, how would you rather feel? Well, I'd rather feel like I find the perfect job in a supportive environment that I love.
Uh-huh.
Okay, let's program your brain for that. Now you still have to take action. You got to apply for the jobs,
Sure.
right?
Exactly. Yeah, right.
But if
Mhm.
your life is a printout of your subconscious program.
I like
I want you to
that.
think about
Mhm.
that for a minute. Your
Mhm.
life is a printout of your subconscious program. Wherever life is easy, it's because your subconscious supports that piece of your life. Wherever
Mhm.
it's hard, it doesn't, and you're trying to overpower it, overpower it, overpower
Mhm.
it.
Mhm. Mhm.
So you've got to change the subconscious mind to support what you want. And
Okay.
back to the first question is, what do you want? Because so
Mhm.
many times we know what we don't like and what we don't want and what's hard and what's not working.
Okay.
Let's not focus on that. Let's focus on what do we want and how are we going to create that? So even if you didn't have my brain exercise, just flipping that script
Yeah.
to, okay, what am I going to do? I'll give you an example. Last night, I told my husband this new goal I had, and he
Mhm.
said, how long are you going to work toward that? Almost kind of like before you give up on it type of thing.
Right.
And I was like, no, I'm doing it. Like, I'm going to accomplish this goal. And he's like, I know, but for how long are you going to try? I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like, it's already done. Like, I know I haven't started yet, but like, no, I'm gonna achieve this goal. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Gattaca, but there's these two brothers and one's stronger and one's weaker, and they have swimming competitions, and the weaker one always wins. And the stronger one is like, how do you do that? And he says, I saved nothing for the swim back. Right? Like, I give it my all. And so that's what happens when your subconscious gets on board. It's just like this superpower to where it's like, there's no question if this is going to work. Like, I believe it at a cellular level. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to take the action to do it. And it's easy to take the action because my subconscious supports it. Where if it doesn't, it's like, oh, I know I was supposed to make those calls today, but I didn't get to it.
Right.
Oh, why can't I be more disciplined?
Yeah.
Because you have a subconscious program supporting you. So don't feel bad. You just need to get some support in your mind to create the life you want.
Yeah. And I heard you speaking at an event in regards to, I am going to have 2 clients a month, and you were doing this exercise, and I was like, okay. So just keep saying that. It's just like it's someone, I was talking to somebody the other day, and there was a guy, and he said he was telling these girls that he knows it's hard to find a man out there. And I was like, no, it's not.
Right.
And he was like, what are you talking about? I said, it's not. I said, there are plenty out there. I said, but they keep saying there's not. So there will not be. So that's the thing. Like, I can't find anybody that's no good man out there. I'm like, oh, well. And then I always say, you attract who you are.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? I'm like, you attract who you are, and it's not something someone told me, it's what I know. I've experienced that. So that's amazing. I want to talk about that phenomenal app you have. And you know what? And I was trying to find it and I got confused. I looked on your website because they have a lot of apps that said, what's the name of your app?
It's called Leap Transformation. Leap like a frog. LEAP.
Right. That's right.
Transformation.
Yeah. Talk about that app.
Yeah. So, the exciting thing about this app is it was born in Texas. And the reason I say that, I was at a mastermind with Oprah's man, Stedman Graham.
Yeah.
And he said, Jenny, you have to find a way to get your work into every hand. Like, it's so powerful and it's so effective. I know you're private coaching and you're group coaching and you're training people in your certification courses for your work and you're doing retreats, but that's not every hand. Like, how do you get this in every hand?
Yeah.
And I thought, gosh, I've got to find a way that people can do my work easily. Right. And so after that event, I hired someone to create for me a website that was like interactive coaching with me. Okay. So when they log in, it would ask, are you trying to feel better? Are you trying to solve a problem or achieve a goal or work on personal growth? And then based on their response, it would pull up a brain exercise that would repattern their subconscious mind for the goal. And then it would help them to set action plans and track their progress. So literally, it's me sitting here doing the work with them. So it's like as close to working with me as possible. Okay. Well, we did that for a couple of years and it went so well that we put it in an app. And so now it's so easily accessible. It's in the App Store. It's in the Play Store. It's a free trial for a week, and it's only $14.99 a month to get me in your pocket where you can pull me out, hopefully at least every morning, and set an intention for your day. If you wake up feeling tired, switch it. If you wake up with a kink in your neck, switch it. If you wake up feeling nervous about a presentation coming up at work, switch the feeling. The feeling is caused by the thinking.
Right.
And this is subconscious. So you can't just consciously switch it. Like, how do you say stop being nervous if you're nervous?
Right.
Like, how?
Right.
But the subconscious, I used to be so scared to speak in public. I mean, you could see my heart beating through my shirt, like my shirt was beating.
Yeah.
So scared. Well, that didn't serve me very well because I'm trying to share my story and inspire people. And if I'm trembling and shaking and nervous and can't think of what to say, not very effective.
Yeah.
So I program my subconscious mind to be a confident speaker.
Yeah.
And you hear speakers say, like, you never get rid of the nerves, the butterflies, they're always there. Well, they must not have programmed their subconscious mind because I don't have any nerves or butterflies anymore. I sit there while they're reading my bio, call me up on stage, so excited to share my message because my subconscious is now supporting me instead of sabotaging me.
Right.
So that's
And
what
you
the app
are,
does.
yeah, you're speaking, you're just so calming. You have a
Thanks.
calming demeanor,
Thank you.
as you draw people in. I'm like, wow, look at her. She is a superstar. Wow.
Thanks.
And so the app would be on the computers, leap.com. But if you go on your phone or whatever, you're looking for what? Leap?
Yeah, so you'll go to the App Store or the Play Store, and
Right.
it's called Leap Transformation. So you'll just
Okay.
download the app Leap Transformation, and once you get the
Okay.
app, you can use it in either place. You can use it at leaptransformation.com on the web, or you can use it at Leap Transformation app on your phone. They're connected. They talk to each other, so you're in the same place, wherever you're working.
Okay. Now, I had read something about, you said, how you can solve problem, like in other words, it's because my question was, how do you figure out what program a person's in?
Yeah.
Right? Tell me
Yeah.
a little bit about that. That's the part I got a little confused about. What
Yeah.
program?
So you're talking about, I think what you're asking me is like, how do you figure out what to do to change their brain, like what they need, whether it's a lack of belief or a subconscious block or some type of opposing
Yes.
belief or
Yeah.
some information. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, like changing anything. Okay, so make any listener feel better. You have tools, take away to achieve their goals. And then I read something about you can understand what program that
Yeah.
person is. So maybe that is it.
Okay. So here's the thing. Your body knows, and I trademarked this term, your body knows.
Okay.
And why did I do that? Because literally your body has all the answers. The reason I'm such a good coach is because I'm a good muscle tester. And I can muscle test what your body knows, and then I know exactly what to say and do with you. If I couldn't do that, I'm not a psychologist or a
Yeah.
therapist. I wouldn't know what to say.
Right.
But I can read your body signal with a muscle test and help you help yourself. Now,
That's
the
amazing.
app does the same thing. And how the app does it is it tells you to ask your heart, not your head, which of the brain exercises on the screen is the right one. You're consciously thinking, I have no idea. I don't even know
Right.
what this is. Your
Exactly.
subconscious mind knows exactly which one will help you. It's like an energetic puzzle, and your body knows what piece is missing and where that piece can be found. And so it's like trusting the wisdom of your body. They say if you're taking a test, usually the first thing you guess is right. And then sometimes we erase it, we second guess ourselves, and we do a different one, like, oh, that first one is the right answer.
Yeah. Right.
It's like that. Your body knows. You have this air of wisdom. And so that's what we use when privately working. We use muscle testing in the app. We ask you to use the wisdom of your body to select the right exercise. Now, they're all going to work, but some of them are going to work better than others for certain things. And so, tap into that wisdom. And sometimes it's super simple. You just don't believe. Like Henry Ford says, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right.
Right.
And so if you don't believe something, if you don't believe you're going to get that book done this year, you're not. It's not happening.
Exactly.
But if you believe it, not if you want to believe it, if you believe it at a cellular response, it's as good as done. Like with that goal I told my husband, what do you mean, when am I giving up on this goal? What kind of question is that? Like, this goal is done. I believe in this goal and I'm going to run after it until I achieve it. Right? That's belief. Sometimes there's a subconscious block. Sometimes, life is kind of hard sometimes.
Yeah, I was going to say
We've
that.
been through some things. And the past gets in the way of our future. And so in the app, after you've done about 30 brain exercises, you earn coins as you go. and you can use these coins to up level the app to
Mm-hmm.
unlock more brain exercises.
Mm-hmm.
You can also trade in the coins to join me live on Tuesdays for a live group session every week. And so when you upgrade the app or the website with the coins, it lets you find and clear hidden blocks.
Okay.
So maybe it's a past memory that's getting in the way, or maybe it's a person, or maybe it's a thought or a feeling, or maybe it's a fear. And so the app will help you and guide you through all those things and unlock it and clear it up so that you can move forward and get unstuck, because stuck is no fun.
Yes. Yes.
We don't like stuck. We like forward motion, right?
That's right. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So in your app, you have a wellness and success, right? Is this part of the app? The relationships, finding your happy, and pain relief and abundance, right?
Yeah, there's really no limit in the app. It asks you, are you trying to feel better or solve a problem or achieve a goal or work on personal growth? No matter what you put in there, it all stems from right between your ears. Your reality is created between your ears. So whatever it is you want different in your life, you put it in the app. It helps you put it into a positive goal statement instead of the negative. It does it with AI. It's so much fun. It's like, did you mean this? And it gives you all these examples. You're like, oh yeah, that's what I want. And it takes you through the brain work, takes you through the action, tracks your progress. It's fun and easy. And here's the thing. 50 to 80,000 thoughts a day we have. So guess what? You got to use it more than once. The mind is like the body, right? You don't get in shape and then be like, check that off the list, never have to work on my body again.
Exactly.
I wish, but no, it's not that way. And our mind is the same because life changes,
It does.
2 months ago, I didn't miss my son because he was living here. Well, now he's moved out and now I miss him. So I got to work on my mind for that, which I did this morning. I miss him,
Yeah.
And so do I want to miss him? Well, not so that it hurts me, not to that level.
Right.
Instead, I want to be happy that he's moving forward in his life and doing great things. I mean, that's the goal, like push him out the nest, right?
That's right. That's right. So what do you tell yourself in that situation?
I ask myself the golden question, how would you rather feel? And I would rather feel proud of his success, happy for him, find joy in the memories of the things we did together, enjoy speaking with him, every week, messaging him, focusing on that instead of it's so quiet and lonely. I don't get my hugs all day, every day anymore,
Right.
Yeah.
That's
so,
good.
but getting my subconscious to focus on that.
Yes.
Because at the surface, I'm busy. I don't really think about it. This morning, I was taking a bubble bath and I was thinking, I miss my boy. And then I thought, well, how would I rather feel? So right there in the bubble bath, I did a brain exercise because I do it all day, every day brain exercises with myself. Anytime I think or feel or act or react in a way I don't want to, I'm like, oh, there's something I can adjust in my life to make my life happier, easier, more peaceful and calm and joyful.
Wow. Jenny, that's great. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
You sounds like a miracle worker. This, I tell you, the mind is it's powerful.
It's so powerful.
It really is. Tell my listeners, we talked about the app, how you can download the app. How else could you do your sessions on Zoom, or they don't have to come to you? So I want that. Right. Okay. I wanted them to be aware of that because in California, because we can do it. Thanks for COVID.
I know, right? We can now connect all over the world in real time immediately. It's so awesome.
Exactly. And tell them how else can they connect with you?
Yeah. So if you go to balancedyou.org, balanced with a D, balancedyou.org, you can find all my social media. You can download some freebies, some workbooks, and different things to help you get started on tapping into the power of your subconscious mind and creating your best life, getting unstuck stuck. I mean, life's too short to be stuck. There's so many great things to do and be and achieve and accomplish and enjoy.
Right.
So it's all possible if you believe. How do you
Okay.
believe? You get the subconscious on board, and then you're
Yes.
unstoppable.
Right. Excellent. Excellent. Well, I want to thank you um, for your wisdom. I hope your back is a lot better. You feel
It's
good.
totally better. I'm great.
Yeah, right. You are great. And that's what I see had to happen for you to get to where you are, how you can just help and
Exactly.
bless so many people. And
Yes.
I applaud you for your work.
Thank
And
you.
as I tell my listeners, I say bye for now. God bless. And you guys, you listen to this podcast over and over again if that's what you need. And I also know that Jenny shares some nuggets. I'm looking at them as diamonds. I mean, to really transform your life. I think this piece, this modality is miraculous.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I applaud you for doing it. And thank you so much. And bye for now. And as I say, God bless you. Thank you.